And good morning. Already 6:30. Do y'all believe that? 75 as you're waking up. Already raining in some areas. We got an 80% chance in the forecast. As we'll follow the weather, we'll go to radar here in just a moment and show you exactly what to expect. Drive careful. I-20 is open now. We did have a 18-wheeler that was broke down between 152, 153 mile marker for a little over an hour. Simmons has come and got that out of the roadway, so all is clear at this point. Now, keep in mind, with rain usually comes some form of an accident. We want y'all to be extra careful today. Drive a little bit slower, especially those known places that we have issues. The I-59-20 split, watch that. Sharp curves, drive a little bit slower. Make sure you get there okay. We've got all of your local headlines coming up at 7 o'clock. We'll go over what's gone on over the last 24 hours, give our best account of that. We're going to go over some local headlines, or national headlines, so to speak. Headlines that are shaping America. That's up and coming in a few moments. We'll get into all of that. What's gone on? Whew, a lot. Y'all have seen it. We'll do that in just a moment. Right now, we shake everything off as usual and get a good word from the man up above. Let's go to Collinsville, the First Baptist this morning.
Have you ever done or been on the receiving end of the little prank or trick where you point at someone's shirt and say, "Hey man, you've got something on your shirt." And when they look down at what you're pointing at, you swipe up your finger and hit them in the nose? My dad has done it to me a countless number of times, and now that I'm older, I've been able to use that trick on my siblings, my cousins, friends, and will eventually get to do it on my son when he's old enough. It's funny how anyone can fall for a simple trick like that. But what does the Bible say about the truly gullible and senseless who believe everything they hear and give no thought to their actions? Proverbs 14:15 says, "The simple believes everything, but the prudent gives thought to his steps." The prudent, wise, or sensible person gives thought to everything, from decisions that have to be made to any sort of news or gossip that comes his way. Proverbs calls us to think for ourselves, to examine our steps, and not take everything we hear at face value. Simple, gullible, and senseless people believe everything they hear and don't give thought to their actions. But prudent, wise, and sensible people are those who pause, reflect, and give thought to their words and decisions. So, whether someone says to you, "Hey, you've got something on your shirt," or if you have a big decision to make, remember to pause, think, and pray for wisdom and direction. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you get something good out of that. We all need something good, don't we? As I looked at our first story of today, I tried to relate it to something that happened here. I remember this has been 2 to 3 years ago. Eric Clark, I called him while he was on the scene of an arrest, and it was somebody that was upset because a power company was cutting a tree near their land, and they got all bent out of shape over it, was causing problems. Didn't hurt anybody. They were cuffed and stuffed and taken away, so to speak. It didn't work out quite that well in North Carolina yesterday, as a man was angry at tree cutters. As we often know, power companies hire tree cutters to come in to clean right-of-ways. Well, he didn't like it. North Carolina, he would shoot 3 of them for the tree service company. They're in critical but stable condition. As police arrived on the scene, they had to take him down also. He's alive, but what drives a person to act this way over a tree? The tree's going to be there long after you and I are gone if it's not used for pulpwood or whatever. It's just no reason to hurt someone. He's been dealt with, and he'll be formally charged at a later point after he gets out of the hospital as they get into this. The worst day in the stock market since 2022 yesterday. If you were a betting man on the stock market, it didn't turn out so well for Americans. We'll be watching to see what becomes of that today. Can it pull back? Has a lot to do with tech companies taking a dive. The AI, they're losing ground at this point with all of that. That's what's happening there. We do say hallelujah on this. One of the 2 people that were seriously injured in the Trump assassination has just gotten out of the hospital. That is really, really good news. One of the 2, we do hope that the next person will be released before long. David Dutch has been released. Fantastic, isn't it? I even saw, when was it, this morning, to where certain news medias, and you can't make all this up, where they're trying to say, well, the president wasn't shot. It was shrapnel that may have hit him. He was shot. We saw it. Man fired 8 times. Don't let others distract you from the truth. Whatever you do, know what's right. I would say the same thing if it was in any form of government. It wouldn't matter who it is. As they're saying, we see it more often as inflation has hit, gas prices has gone up, groceries growing high, credit card debt at an all-time high, and the delinquency of it has reached a 12-year high now. People not being able to pay back what they're charging each week to try to make it through. Let's all hope for the best on that. Careful how you vote. Of course, we all watched last night. Did you see it? The address? Did you really find out anything? Not really. He's passing the torch to someone else, is what I heard him say. My, oh, my, oh, my. Late in the show next hour, we'll talk a little bit about that. But that did happen yesterday. Also, we did see Netanyahu address Congress yesterday. I thought he'd done a very well job of that. Again, we know what the Bible says. Israel, keep that in your mind as well. What else is happening this morning? Oh, that's that FBI director there. We see that one of the largest California winemakers in the top 15, I think, is what has filed for bankruptcy. They're saying that people have quit drinking wine since COVID. So they're blaming the American people in their bid for bankruptcy, saying it's the American people for not drinking as much as they used to. None of that can be proven. At the end of the day, they have filed Chapter 11. We'll see what becomes of that. Maybe the lockdown did hurt other areas worse than it did us, but Vintage Wine Estates is the name of that company that is filing for bankruptcy on that. Terry Shelton, good morning. Jerome Lee joins us as well. Patricia, glad to see you. Jeff Lewis is up this morning. And again, I warn you all about the gloomy, rainy day ahead of you, as Ruth put it there. Drive careful and be extra careful. And we do need to pray for our country. We'll be right back as we'll get into the forecast. That's a few of the headlines. There's a lot more that we're going to be going on as we talk about what has gone on in our country and locally over the next few hours as we get this morning underway. I'll be honest, as I was getting ready to hit the button there's a story in Oakland, California, and where a business owner is upset because they've been robbed 7 times within 4 years. I can think of many local businesses here that have been hit lots more than that, and he's upset over 7 times. It made me cackle inside is what threw me off there of not hitting the button. We've had a lot worse here in those cases. Now, is Oakland horrible right now? Absolutely. But 7 times is not an astonishing number anymore for business to be broken into over a 4-year period, is it? It's not. We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast as we begin your day here at the Scotty Ray Report.
CF Moto has arrived at Meridian Cycles. Come see us at 80 Highway 19 North or give us a call at 601-485-8700.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Welcome back as we get into our forecast. Let's go ahead and pull up radar. where we can all see the same thing as we go to Honda Meridian radar. We see that we have scattered showers most everywhere. That's a good steady rain. We've got a little bit more in other areas. Bay Springs getting a good shower at this point. Showers starting to move into Clark County. As we look at western Lauderdale County and eastern Newton County, look at this chunky I-20. You're going to get into a situation there with a lot of rain there, as well as if you're coming down Highway 503 out of Hickory. Look at that. That section there of Old 80 as well, as we turn on some locations for you to kind of see where things are. Right there, downtown Chunky at the post office. Pouring rain. We got a lot of rain over here at Meehan, there at the Volunteer Fire Department, just south of the Dollar General there in Hickory on Highway 503, those showers there. And it will make its way into Lauderdale County before long. Most of Newton County under that light showers. We'll see that throughout. Here's Neshoba County, a lot there. A little bit of a heavier shower as we look there to New Hope. Kemper County, some showers there. Nothing too serious, but we do have showers scattered throughout the area. Means you need to be a little bit careful there throughout the morning. But look at this big picture here. If you're going to be Crestview, Florida, these areas there, Destin, look at the fog, Montgomery, Selma, these areas there, Andalusia, Alabama, getting all of that, Greenville, Fort Deposit, those areas there is covered in fog this morning. We want you to be careful. Showers out into the Gulf, and look back toward Galveston, Beaumont. These areas there making their way toward Louisiana are going to get wet. Corpus Christi getting flooded on this morning. A lot of rain is coming down. Just be careful wherever you are in this U.S. of A. this morning of where you're going and what you're doing. All right, as we turn to get deeper into our forecast this morning, let's jump into that.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at the showers that is predicted for today, Meridian 85, we'll see cooler weather in Philadelphia, projected to be 81 all the way from there to Columbus. Look at that. I see a 7. We don't see that very often this time of year. That's going to be in Eupora, Mississippi. By the time we get to Greenwood, we'll hold 80 degrees, and somewhere down the Mississippi River, we'll finally reach 83 degrees by the time we reach Natchez. Those areas, Brookhaven, showers as well. As we go to Alabama this morning to see what's going to be happening there, we see it. Demopolis, 86, Selma, 89, and we're getting back into the 90s the further east you go into Alabama, with Montgomery showing up at 91, Eufaula at 90. Troy, Dothan will probably be right at that 90-degree mark as well for today. As you'll see that northern Alabama, we get most of the rain today, as we will see that in Mississippi as well. What is happening between now and Friday through tomorrow? Flash flooding. We need to be careful. Anywhere from 1 to 3 inch possibility falling in a short duration of time. And we saw that last weekend. Russell is where it all happened there. It was rough out there. A lot of you saw water that you didn't. Downtown areas, the tunnel and all those have those dips in it. Held water. We got a lot. Let's hope that doesn't happen again in between now and tomorrow, but you never can tell. Today is not as forecast to be as bad as we would think. What is happening with the outlook? 6 to 10 days out, we're getting warmer. Y'all see it there on the map as we look at the 7-day outlook. Now we pull this up. We see 85 today, which is way cooler for us during the month of July, headed into August. We'll see 89 by tomorrow for a high, climbing back into the mid-90s over the weekend. 91 on Saturday, up to 93 on Sunday. But look at the rain chances not breaking, actually increasing over the weekend with a 70% on Saturday, moving up a notch to 80% on Sunday. And not really much better as you go back to work next week. 70% on Monday, 60% Tuesday, Wednesday, 50%. Starting to sound like I got a grass mowing company, doesn't it? Rain, rain. Boy, does it make the grass grow. Let's go another week and see if we get any breaks on this as we go all the way to August the 8th. Not really. We'll see a slight chance of rain there on the 1st of August, down to a 20 to 24% chance there, then back up to 40%, and it'll hold steady that 40% through the 5th, and then we drop down into the 30% chances of rain. But forecasted each day for about 2 weeks now. Rain and more rain. We'll get back up to that 96, 95, 94-ish there as we get into the first part of August, and then mid-90s. So hot weather is not over. As we all know, August will be probably the worst month that we have. So be ready for hot weather as we get ready. I know a lot of people are already moved into the Neshoba County Fairgrounds, getting ready for the entertainment, things that are kicking off. Y'all enjoy. It's good to get away and enjoy yourself for a little while. All the way from Union, Mississippi, Irene joins us this morning. Kevin joining us there. Montana is where he's at today. what was that, Montana Cafe, Hank Jr. years ago? Y'all remember that album, don't you? We've got a lot to do, lots to discuss, and we'll have someone coming in from the Max today. What's going on downtown Meridian? We'll find out today. All that's coming up just a little bit after 7 as we get more coffee and more coffee ready here. We have to be prepared for anything that happens. Coffee is the cure. Makes people better. Try it sometime if you're not hooked on it like we are. We'll be right back in just a few moments as we get this day going. Viva, good morning. Tomb Suba is where home is. Good to see you there from Alabama. Kathy Abston, how are you? Betty McCary, good morning. So good to see y'all. I said good. That's good what I was trying to say. Tongue-tied I was. 14 before the hour. We'll have everything underway in just a few moments. Join us, won't you? We'll be live in just a few moments here at the Scotty Ray Report with everything local.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.